Okay, so I have the basic framework of this robot built. Got the motor and the motor controller and the microprocessor and the battery compartment, everything's in. There are a few minor things I need to change about this as far as the voltages and whatnot, and also need to neaten up all these jumper wires. But I mean, it's not a bad start that I'm at here. One thing that's kind of been bugging me is the fact that I've really got a limited amount of room inside of this box to put more components. It's going to be really kind of difficult for me to add stuff, and the wiring's going to get really like congested, and you know, some stuff I won't be able to mount. Like, it's going to be difficult for me to mount something here on top because of the breadboard underneath. And I actually came up with what I think is a pretty good solution. Is I'm going to just go ahead and add another box. And, I've got another box. It's the exact same size. This is actually for a Stellaris Launchpad, and it's actually might be just a tad smaller, which is fine. But what I'm thinking about doing is taking this Stellaris box and just simply gluing this to the top of this box. So then if I want to get into this box, I just open this, and then if I need to get to the motor compartment, the processor compartment, the battery compartment, I just do this, and then the other box will just right on top. So I'll have real easy access to both compartments still, and I'm going to be able to double the amount of room I have to work with without, you know, much weight at all. So I'm actually pretty happy about this idea. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and install some sensors into this box. Install some, I'm probably going to do like 4 sensors. Ultrasonic here, here, and then here and here. And then I'm going to put a, going to go ahead and put a LCD display up top somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where yet. I think probably putting it towards the front would be smartest, because if I have cables, it'll be the least amount of flex. But I think this 2-box design is going to be a pretty good idea. So let's get started on the sensors. Okay, so I've got my ultrasonic sensors all sorted out now. I have 4 of them here, and what I've done is I've actually desoldered the male headers that were on it, and I've soldered on female headers onto each one. So now all I should have to do is just cut slits in the box like this, and then stick them in, and then find some way to attach them on here. I'm debating whether I'm going to use Velcro or not. I may just use a few dabs of hot glue. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab my glue gun, and I'll be right back. Okay, while I'm waiting for my hot glue gun to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and cut the slits for these other sensors. Put one about right here. Slide it over a little bit. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Doesn't look even close to the same, does it? I guess it wasn't. But you know what? Yeah, it looks like crap. Okay, I'm going to put them up top then. Let's see how this is. Slide this over a little bit. Okay, and that looks like it's a little bit closer to being the same. Doesn't have to be the exact same, but okay, so got those pretty close, and I want to put one on each side too, kind of close to the front. Let's see, I think I'm going to mount these from the bottom. Felt like I was getting some resistance there. Let's see what's going on. Alright, getting this out of the box. Okay. One on this side. Preferably without slicing into my hand. Let's see what this looks like. Looks like garbage. I'm going to have to take this flap out. Just cut the front part of this flap off. Also, while I'm in here, I may go ahead and glue this box down. Make it nice and sturdy. Okay, and I got one of the world's shittiest hot glue guns here. I mean, it is bad. And it's working though. I don't know if you could see that or not, but right now I'm just gluing these flaps down. The box hold its shape a little better. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and start popping these in. Let's see, this is going to be the front. And I think I decided I was going to come from the top, this, like this. Okay, it's going to be good like that. Yeah. I'm going to mess with this glue gun. And I'm just going to go ahead and put big globs of glue right on top of these little ICs that are on here, because that's going to be the highest points. And hurry up and get that glued down. That ought to be pretty secure. Gotta hurry. Okay. And on these, I'm going to be coming from the bottom like this. Okay, and one more. Now I've got to get me a little better glue gun than this. This ought to work just fine though. This one's a little further back, but it's not a big deal. You won't really be able to see it anyway. See them both at the same time, that is. Okay, so now we have our 4 ultrasonic sensors mounted. Okay, for the next step, I've pretty much decided that I'm going to be using a, it's kind of hot still, I'm going to be using this LCD display. So, and I've also decided I'm going to put it on the front. And I think whenever the robot's facing me, I want the display to read like up and down like this. So I'm going to cut a hole right here near the front. Come back just a little bit. So I'm just going to trace this front of the display. I'll use a marker. Let me get a marker. Okay, so I'm just going to trace. This Sharpie works, yeah. Kind of half-ass center this thing. Trace around that front edge. I need to try and get this traced pretty well, because I don't want to make it the hole too big. Not by a lot anyway. And also when I was looking at this, I noticed that you see this little part right here, this backlight, there's nothing on the other side that is the same height as that. So whenever I push this up through, this is going to hit first and this other side is going to like be lopsided. So I'm going to put a little thing of glue over here to try and make it to where this will be of the same height in both spots. So I'm going to do that now. Just going to try and get a little build up to where it's the same height as the other side. Approximately. I think that's close enough to where it won't be grossly off. I may go ahead and do a little on the top and bottom too, so it's not putting all the weight on those edges. And this is the this is the serial LCD, and I decided to go with the serial, even though it's more expensive by a little. I think you can get them for about $10. I'll have to look at the prices, but I decided to use that just because I was looking at the number of inputs and outputs, and they're really starting to add up in this project. And I wanted to make it so I could use it with the Arduino Nano if I wanted to. Okay. I can already tell you this ain't going to be perfect. Really, I wish I would have cut this out before I installed all this other stuff, because if I really screw this up, I'm pretty much stuck with this box now. Need to put X-Acto tools on my Christmas list for sure. Alrighty. Just like everything else, it's off center a little bit. I'm okay with that. But it looks like we have a pretty decent fit here. That's the top. That's how I want it, just like that. Now I've got to decide how I want to attach it. And there are some little holes there that I could actually punch through and kind of lace up on each side. I just think it would look a lot better if I glued this into place. But I don't know if I want to glue this thing. How do I want to do this? I think I'm just going to hot glue it, if I have enough glue. Let's see. I don't have enough glue. That sucks. That Gorilla Glue is going to be super permanent, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to have to, pretty much going to have to zip tie this sucker in here. which isn't the prettiest option. It'll almost stay there by itself, but I know it won't. Of course, my other, or one other option is to use some tape, which I think I might do. Go get some duct tape and just duct tape this sucker in here. I'll be right back. Okay, I found this, it's actually duct brand, but it's not duct tape. This is just some packing tape. So I'm just gonna get this as tight as I can. On here. And it's a pretty tight fit already, so this isn't going to be absolutely crucial. Oh, gotta leave that little pot exposed. There's a little trimmer pot right there to adjust the contrast. Some on the bottom. I'll put some more on the top right here going this direction. Hopefully it's a hole, I think it will. I still have easy access to my connector and the pot. And I just noticed I'm going to have to cut these flaps so that when they close, they don't close down on these connectors here and here. There's a lot of room, you need to cut them back to about here. Pretty much all the way up. I'm not crazy about cutting on this box because I know every time I cut it I'm decreasing the strength. Excuse me. Okay. Make sure that stays tucked in good. Alright, and now we can kind of get some idea of what this thing's going to start to look like. Grab the base. Okay, this is the front. One good thing, once I get this done, I'll at least be able to tell whether it's coming or going by where the ultrasonic sensors are at. Right now I can't tell when it's rolling around whether it's coming or going. So let me go ahead and dollop a bunch of glue on top of this box lid here to secure it to this. Use Gorilla Glue. glue for this part. So I want it to really be solid on there. We're going to let this cure. By the time I get to work on it again, it's probably going to be at least at least 12 hours or so before I can work on it again. Okay. I'll put this roll of tape on here just to kind of weigh it down a little bit. And I'll put this in the corner and let it dry. And next we'll start wiring all this stuff up.